Hello guys, and welcome back to Global Education Zone. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about network cables and connectors. So basically, I want to talk about network cables and connectors. They are basically the wires are used for. For example, I have this though this won't fit for a definition of network cables and connectors, but still it is still a cable. You get it? So this is how they look like, but the only difference is that their own mouths are quite different from the normal ones we have. So how the network cables and connectors, they have the ends. Some of them are called male connectors because they are inserted into others. Some are called female connectors because you insert others into them. So we have different forms of connectors, and we're going to talk about them in this channel, in this course. So basically, we want to talk about connector. A connector is basically a wire material that is used for basically kind of transferring electric signal from one computer device to another. So the major reason why we set up a network is for easy transfer of digital information from one computer device to another. So and then we have the first kind of network device such as cables. So we have, for example, we have the first type of cables, which is called a twisted pair cable. Now a twisted pair cable is basically a kind of cable that it's a type of wiring in which two conductors are twisted together for the purpose of cancelling out magnetic interference from each of them. So it's kind of like a way of cancelling interference. So we also have the coaxial cable, and the coaxial cable is kind of like a cable that is used to it's actually very common. It's an electrical cable with an internal or inner conductor surrounded by a flexible and tubular inner insulating layer and a tubular conducting shield. So I've often seen this kind of ones using kind of antenna cables. So this is very common, and it's used in connecting radio transmitters and receivers with their antennas. So especially when you are using your kind of DSTV, GoTV, and all those kind of television signals and providers. So we also have the fiber optic cables. So the fiber optic cables is basically a kind of cable that is employed in our modern day GSM telephone system and all the rest. So they are much more preferred because they can travel long distances without decaying signal like the ordinary electrical cables. So they are long, they are thin, they are very pure strands of glass which transfer data by means of their reflecting properties and their ability to refract light and all the rest. So we also have the part of a single optic fiber. So basically, I want to talk about the optic fiber. There are different parts of an optic fiber. If you look closely at a single optical fiber, you will see that it has the following parts. So you have the jacket, which is 400 nanometers thick. We have the buffer, 250 nanometers thick. We have the cladding, 125 nanometers, and then we have the core, which is 8 nanometers in diameter. So these are different thickness. You can see there are 4 portions. So inside we have the core, which is covered by the cladding, which is also covered by the buffer, and then covered by the jacket. Each of these have their own function. For example, I know that we have the interaction between the core and the cladding enables them to kind of perform total internal reflection, which is a topic in physics. I've talked about that. You can check out the course on my channel. So basically, that phenomenon, it makes the data to be transferred in a longer distance. So these are the different cords we have. We also have the telephone cable. Now, a telephone cable is basically is a type of male connector used to connect a telephone to the telephone wiring in a home or business, and in turn to its female counterpart. It's called a telephone jack, and is commonly fixed to a wall. So or it's fixed to a baseboard. So that's the basic kind of connectors we have, and each of these cables, they have their specific use. They have, for example, you cannot use a telephone cable where you're supposed to use a what's called a coaxial cable, so they will not, because they have different ends. Their mouths have different shapes for inserting into their female connectors. So we have the one example of a connector here is a coupler that is used to join cables to a device. So we've talked about cables, right? Now we're talking about the couplers, which are called connectors. Now, for example, we have the first one known as RJ45. So the RJ45 is a special kind of connector. It is short for registered jack 45. It's an 8-wire connector used for commonly connecting computers to a local area network. We also have the RJ11, the T connectors,
So I've once seen something like that. But these ones, they are basically from the first kind of connectors we have. Nowadays we have newer ones like USB 3.0, USB-C, and all the rest. We have the C connectors, we have the and all the rest, the power cable. So we also have data cable, which are used for transferring data. Basically we have the printer cable, which is the cable that transfers data between the computer and the printer. And depending on the printer type, there are different types of cables. For example, we have the parallel, firewire, USB cables, and they are all different in nature and function. So basically, I hope you've enjoyed this class on cables and network connectors. I hope to see you next episode.